Good morning, world. This is the Propaganda Critic, and today is November 22nd, 2017. I'm coming to you at 5:55 a.m., and today I'd like to talk with you about CRISPR gene editing, its home use, and ethics. The field of genetic engineering is undergoing a revolution, but with this revolution comes a crisis in ethics. In recent years, CRISPR, which stands for Clustered Regularly Interspaced Short Palindromic Repeats, we'll just call it CRISPR. CRISPR has taken the editing of DNA to the next level. In fact, it was declared by Science Magazine in 2015 to be the molecular breakthrough of the year. So what is it all about? In her TED Talk, published 24 October 2016, Ellen Jorgensen, who is a self-proclaimed molecular biologist turned biohacker, she also founded the world's first community lab. She talks about how gene editing through CRISPR is like hacking the cell with a Trojan horse. You feed it a chunk of DNA in such a way that the cell is tricked into accepting it and repairing a piece of damaged DNA with it. Now, this isn't a new process. People have been jamming DNA into cells forever. Well, not forever, for a long time. This particular process, though, is much more precise and hence much safer and has a lot more promise in terms of research and understanding disease, developing better disease models, for example. And another application is making glow-in-the-dark beer. So that's always nice. Additionally, let me see, I already read that. So Ellen Jorgensen, she cites a report issued by the United Nations, which concluded that the power of genetic engineering technology for positive was greater than the risk for the negative. And she also talks about how the media tends to overestimate the capabilities of the do-it-yourself people, the biohacking community, and underestimate their ethics. And even if you were to get this technology, you couldn't substantially do anything like of substance without a professional lab, and even that would be limited to basic research. And another problem with doing it in your home is that you're bound to get caught up in the patent war between the Broad Institute and UC Berkeley. They're battling for who gets patents on what, and you're bound to get sucked into some major expensive licensing fees. So while there's promise, there are a lot of pitfalls, and it's quite a minefield. But I think the do-it-yourself community in biotechnology is about the idea of crowdsourcing research, especially with the advent of social media. So every single person can conduct a basic research, some basic research into using gene editing and record its results and submit it to some cloud that compiles the data and analyzes it. But the idea of doing this and not having that peer review process with the controls it poses a problem in terms of integrity of information. So this is all very new information. And while there's a lot of promise, there's also a lot of risk. And the ethics of this practice, well, consider what gene editing is. Gene editing not only affects the organism that you're editing, but if you edit, for example, if you could edit the reproductive cell, that could potentially live on for centuries. Like if you edit something and it's still able to reproduce, kind of like with Moses and his descendants, like one person could give birth to an entire civilization of edited genetic mutants. So this is part of the hype of the media, and I'm part of the media. But it's important to consider these potential drawbacks as well as the benefits of using this technology for the betterment of humanity. And that's the end to all science, fundamentally, is to better human existence and the world that we live in. So, perhaps you guys could leave some comments and let me know what your thoughts are. Where do you think this technology is going? Maybe cite some sources. I'll make sure I leave all the sources that I used to create this video in the it's not the comments section. You know what I'm talking about. Description box. There we go. So, anyway, this is an interesting subject. I didn't really get the opportunity to take too many takes, so it's a little rough. Because I ran out of time. It's already 6 o'clock. But it's a really interesting topic, and I think there's a lot more research that can be done, a lot more reporting and analysis on the journalistic end. Anyway, let me know what you think. As always, like, share, contribute, comment. So, thanks again, and I will see you guys next time.